friends, welcome to Writer's Workshop today. I'm going to read you another bear book written by Karma Wilson, who is our new author that we are talking about this week. Now this is in the Bear series. We've already read Bear Sees Colors and we read Bear Snores On. Okay, this is called Bear's Loose Tooth. So let's read to find out what happens in this story about Bear. Bear's Loose Tooth. Oh, there he is in his den. Bear's Loose Tooth by Karma Wilson, illustrated by Jane Chapman. From a cave in the forest came a munch, munch, crunch as Bear and his friends all nibbled on their lunch. Bear savored every bite. He gulped and he gobbled. Then there in his mouth something wiggled and it wobbled. As Bear nibbled food, something moved when he chewed. It was Bear's loose tooth. Bear pointed in his mouth and said, "Oh dear, my tooth feels funny. It's the one right here." Bear frowned and he worried. Tears welled in his eyes. "But how will I eat if my tooth says goodbye?" Hare said, "Open wide." Then he looked inside and saw Bear's loose tooth. Do you hear those repetitive words that she's using over and over again? Mouse squeaked, "Don't fret, don't fuss. Look, see, a new tooth will grow where the old used to be." "We'll help," said Wren. "I know what to do. It's out with the old and in with the new." Wren perched on Bear's lip, and he got a good grip on Bear's loose tooth. Wren pulled on the tooth with all of his might. "Is it out?" asked Bear, but it stayed stuck tight. "I'm a bit too small for the job," said Wren, so Owl grabbed the tooth, but the tooth stayed in. Badger said, "I'll try," and he gave a big pry on Bear's loose tooth. They all took a turn, but the tooth wouldn't budge. Then Bear used his tongue and he gave a little nudge. His tooth wiggled to and fro, and then what do you know? Bear's tooth fell out. Bear danced a big dance. Bear grinned a big grin. Bear held up his tooth and he showed all his friends. Bear looked in the mirror and he laughed at his smile. A new tooth would come, but it might take a while. That night in bed, right next to his head, lay Bear's loose tooth. While he slept and he snored, a fairy fluttered in, and she left blueberries where Bear's tooth had been. He woke in the morning and found the sweet treat. Bear's friends came for breakfast. They sat down to eat. Bear gulped and he gobbled, and he felt something wobble. Uh-oh. Bear's loose tooth. What did you think of that story? Oh, I love it. Did you hear the repetitive text in this one too? She kept repeating Bear's loose tooth throughout the entire story. Okay, so let's get started on our writing. Yesterday, you got some paper and you folded it into a book. And you decided what you were going to write your story about. Okay, today you're going to get to start your book, inspired by Karma Wilson. Now you might remember I told you my book's going to be about a dog and the different things the dog can do. The only thing we're going to do in our book today is the front cover, okay? And if you look at the front cover, there's three things that we need. We need a title, we need a picture, like an illustration, and then your author's name is going to go at the bottom. okay? So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. Those 3 things on the front cover of our book. So let me check my book. I wanna make sure it's opening the right direction. Okay, and there's my front cover. I thought about this last night, and I decided that since my book's about something my dog can do, I'm just gonna make the title Dog Can, okay? And those are both words that I know how to spell. I can listen to the sounds and dog and know how to spell it. Listen, D-O-G. Did you hear it? So what's the first sound? D, which I know is the letter D. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that. And the next sound I heard in dog after D, listen, D-A, was the ah, which I know is the letter O. D-O-G, G. My last letter needs to be a G. So there's my first word in my title, and my second word is can. That's one of our sight words. Do you remember how to spell it? C-A-N. So let me write that right here. And there is my title of my book, Dog Can. Let me scoot this up. It looks like it's awful far away for you guys to see. Is that better? Okay. So I've got my title. I still need my illustration, and I need my author's name, right? So I'm going to put my author's name down here at the very bottom. Whoops. Okay, so now we know that this is a book by me because it has my name on it. What do I still need? My illustration. Well, this is where I'm just gonna do my best because I'm not an artist, but I think I can manage drawing a dog. So let me try this. Okay, I'm gonna start with his face, and I'm gonna think about like what shape his face is. It's kind of like an oval. So let me do that. So here's the face, and you know how some dogs have long floppy ears? This dog's gonna have long floppy ears. See how long and floppy they are? And then maybe he can be sitting down. Let's see, I think his body, it would still kind of look like an oval, like this. But I need some legs, don't I? So maybe here's his feet coming out from underneath him, his feet, and then he's got, these are his front feet. And of course he needs a tail, doesn't he? So there's his tail, okay? Now obviously my doggy needs a face, right? So there, this is gonna be where his, like, his mouth goes and his nose. So there's his nose. And his mouth, and here's his little eyes, and he's even got some eyebrows. Now I need to color him in. Don't you think he'd look a lot better if I added some color detail? Yeah, I think that's why a lot of our books that we read by authors like Carmen Wilson, the pictures look so great because they spend such a long time doing their best job with their coloring. So I think I want this part to be a little bit lighter. So I'm just gonna very lightly go back and forth and shade that part. I mean, I use my brown, but it's very, very light. I want it to be a little bit darker on his face. So now I'm gonna use that same color brown, but I'm gonna push just a little bit harder. Do you see how it almost changes the color of brown? That's a trick somebody taught me, that you can use the same color, but sometimes you can make it lighter and darker just depending on how hard you're pressing. You don't ever want to press way too hard, because if you do that, your crayons will break, right? So here, I finished shading his face in. His face already looks better, don't you think? I think it looks so much better. I still need to use this crayon to color in the rest of his body, and I'm gonna do that. But I want you to have time to work on your book, okay? So yesterday you made your book, you decided what you're going to write about. Today, do the front cover only, and send me a picture of it so I can see it, okay? Okay, have fun.